The summoned hero is effective if not a little eccentric. He claims that he is a Dark Souls player and keeps saying why should I wear armor if I don't intend on getting hit. Nevertheless, the great foe is no match for him, and the people love him. I wouldn't have believed it had I not seen it with my own eyes. Decades of planning. Years of conflict. It was only days until I was face to face with the hero they had claimed from another universe. I had been confident at first. Who wouldn't be? They had to reach across planes of existence in order to find someone who could even mildly threaten me or my myriad of lieutenants. Cole had been the first to go. A massive, lumbering beast. It had laid claim to a mystical forest. It had made a nest by tearing asunder the roots of trees that had existed since time began in this realm. It was dead in minutes when the hero arrived. It was an oddity at first, as Cole's army had been unharmed. I had assumed they were covering up a coup or something worse when the entire force returned with only a few casualties. Apparently, the hero had sprinted right past most of them, only deigning to kill a choice few. Valkyrie and the Corrupted Knight was next. Her ascension had left her knightly order as husks, their life force bound within their armor as they slowly turned to ash. It was in some tower that she brooded, and in that tower is where she was found, the empty armor husks strewn about, released from the curse of their lord. Findalus was next, the one felt most grievously. Findalus was a centuries-old mage that had twisted a kingdom into submission. He spent his days creating perverse and eldritch experiments. He was, technically, Cole's father in a twisted way. The battle could be seen for miles, the kingdom illuminated by the sheer power of arcane magic flowing from Findalus as he fought this insane hero. I thought for sure that Findalus would have done it, but here he was, the little psychopath sprinting up to my throne, naked as he could be, wearing a mask and wielding a two-handed sword. The first I knew of it was my guards, shouting an alarm. I barely had time to stand before the magical locks on my throne room tripped, keeping the intruder in with me. You dare to enter the TH. What are you doing? The hero had laid down his sword and spread his arms, standing stock still. Looking past him, the collection of my guards waited patiently, locked out. Not a single one was injured or otherwise. They were about as bemused and bewildered as I was. My lieutenant shrugged from behind the mystic barrier. I hefted my weapon, raising it high. Still, the little peon hadn't moved. I shrugged, bringing the sword down with a thundering crash. Debris and dust kicked up, creating a cloud that obscured the arena. I smiled. The hero's insanity had clearly driven him to some kind of ritual suicide, or perhaps it. I screamed in pain as the hero slashed into my calf, carving deep into the flesh. A minor wound, but a surprising one. I'd not felt the kiss of an enemy's blade in near a century of combat. Rotating on the uninjured leg, I tried to get a good view of my target. Another slash carved into my leg again, eliciting a grunt from me. I stomped down and, for the first time, saw this hero's tactic. He rolled away, spinning head over heels, from my kicks. He twisted around each strike I made, avoiding impact entirely. A few times, I caught myself unbalanced, expecting the hero to at least block or attempt to. There was no blocking. There were no strikes that connected. I was beginning to understand how he destroyed my army. I had enough. I knelt down, letting magic flow and pool into my fist. Striking the ground, I detonated the arena with a massive explosion. The hero stood, arms spread, waiting at the very edge of the radius of explosion. When the fire died out, he rushed in again, taking wild swings with that two-handed blade. It was me on the back foot now, feverishly trying to block the little swiping stings of this freakish hero. Every tactic was met by avoidance. Every blow struck air or ground, the naked little monster sidestepping, rolling and casually walking away from everything I threw at him. In the end, I was bloodied and broken, kneeling before the tiny creature. Please. My voice rumbled, my hand raised in supplication to a creature hardly the size of my finger. Please. What is this power you have? I've conquered this realm from shore to shore, fought beasts in the deep, choked the life from dragons. I've never met anyone like you. How did you do this? What power could I have stolen to become so nimble, so overwhelming in power? I was stalling, the magic slowly creeping in my veins and knitting together the severed veins, closing the myriad of cuts. I just had to wait a bit longer, and I might be able to teleport out of here and start again. The hero took off the mask. He was truly horrid, a face that looked to have been thrown together by a blind idiot god, almost comical in how truly absurd he looked. He strode forward, coming up close to my face, the insane glittering in his eyes never changing. The sword came up, piercing up toward my skull, the magic shorting out as the blade corrupted the processes. The last thing I heard was the little creature whispering something as I was embraced by oblivion. Get good, scrub.